Welcome to everyone. We're again here with Weimer, the Bulgarian Cowboy Vlad. Gonna release picks for members soon, just to know. Gonna release them tomorrow as I'm having some difficulties with some recalculations, etc. And tomorrow there's no UFC event this weekend, so it kind of gives me a hard time, but I'll try to analyze this tournament. Yeah, I don't stream every single week, but I stream when I have time, so that's how it goes. I'm gonna give you my tips, expectations, and interestingly, it's saying everything is gonna be the main card, and kind of makes me wonder, maybe I misheard something. See, it's kind of hard to me to expect that everything is gonna be main card my my sport club. You mostly as my sport club mostly as only the main card of the event. So that's what I'm looking forward right now. Yeah, I'm wondering what the sport club gonna have. Still no idea. Yeah, still no idea. So, uh, so what I need to say is, yeah, I'm just taking a look. I don't know which TV station gonna air. Okay, let's kick off. I think Marcoux stops Jenkins early. Jenkins is reaching the end of his career. I also think Florian Marcoux gonna win this one. Yeah, I also think Florian Marcoux gonna win this one. But yeah, I agree with you. Now Milad the Bedi Ahadi, out of Afghanistan 3-1-0. South Shields, England, Team Fish Tank, one win. He lost at Bellator Newcastle to Joe Kalbutin. Wow, he outrun Keir Harvey. Keir Harvey is a serious opponent. Let me see, against Antonio Sheldon, 5-0, 5-10. And Arat Garmendia victories, Toma Bandia, David Zan. I don't know much about Antonio Sheldon. You have to guess with a lucky pick, I guess. Don't know much about Antonio Sheldon. Milada had it to win, but odds are not released for this fight. Checking. Nah. Oh yeah, Milada had is a slight favorite. Minus 125. That should be like a good odd. With Cage Warriors, the problem with my book is the fact that they only let you pick a side, which kind of sucks. And you can't pick a side in every. You can't pick a side in every single. You can't pick a side in every single fight. So here is like this really is maybe slightly greater chances for Ahadi from what I've seen. Dan Hepford is gonna meet Tomil Brown. Dan Hepford 0-1-0, fighting out of Leicester, England. He lost to Musha Slani. Omil Brown, I've seen this guy. Omil Brown, Team Renegade, BGG. Fought at Cage Warriors against James Sheehan. Also defeated Joshua Wardy, Joel Downey Cave. I think Brown is a Renegade. He's Natalia Frederick's colleague. I think he's a big favorite. Let me see what our odds saying. Yeah, minus 2. I agree. I agree with this. Omil Brown to win. For minus 2. I do agree with this. That Omil Brown should win this one. Now, let's see. Giuseppe Ruggieri versus Dean Truman. Well, Dean Truman is looking to get back into the winning column. I had an interview with him. Dean Truman was having so many problems, concussions, injuries. It's been a rocky time for him. Hardy Volhead, MMA fighter. 3 back-to-back losses to Mats Burnell, Morgan Charrier, George Hardwick. If he loses now, that might be the end of his run. So Prior to this, he defeated Corinne Eaton, Louis Monarch, and Aiden Lee. But he is actually good if the fight goes the distance, He's actually very, very good if the fight goes the distance. But other than that, I've got to say that this is to be or not to be. And fighting Giuseppe Ruggieri, Aurora Mixed Martial Arts prospect. This guy fought in local promotions. I've seen that he is good on the ground, but Dean Truman is not a bad fighter on the ground. I mean, he was losing to Mats Burnell and Frank Silva, but other than that, he's not that bad on the ground. This could go either way. I mean, Ruggieri is good, but maybe Dean Truman is a bit underrated. I'm gonna say Drummond versus Ruggieri fight not going the distance. I don't know. You know why I'm not picking this? I'm gonna tell you because I had interview with Dean Truman and the guy was having a lot of bad experiences throughout the past few years. He was having problems. Some of his bouts fell through, and when you're dealing so many issues, it can make you a problem, It can really make you a problem because it kills your motivation, and he failed to get the medical approval, which kind of sucks, which kind of really, really sucks. So I'm kind of undecisive in picking a side here. It could go either way, really, and I don't know the current level of Dean Truman's shape. I would like to see Truman getting back into the winning column, like Steve Amable used to have that problem in the past, but he was able to outwork his opponent after 3 back-to-back losses. So maybe this is just a phase in the career of Dean Truman. Ander Sanchez is going to meet Conrad Wilson. Conrad Wilson, 210, 5'6", next generation MMA Liverpool fighter. He was better than David Adams, Jack Young, lost to Sierra Mulholland via guillotine choke. Ander Sanchez has amateur record of 10-1, 5'7", but he has been inactive for a very long period of time. When somebody is inactive for a long period of time, I usually pick his opponent. Not calling this a strict rule though, but I think Conrad Wilson to win for -220 because of his opponent. When you're dealing with an inactivity period, I like to stay away from that. Now, Ryan Shilly is gonna meet Magdi Gerev. Ryan Shilly, 3-0, Irish prospect, KF Martial Arts out of Dublin, Ireland. I've seen his very dominant victory over Liam Malloy. I remember that fight. I actually rewatched it. Now he's gonna meet Magdi Gerev, 5'10", out of Manchester top team, a Dagestani fighter. 2 back-to-back submission victories, but this is the greatest test of his career. As an amateur, he defeated Jamie Small, but this was an amateur bout. He was having ups and downs. Ryan Shilly is not bad on the ground. This might go all the way, like from what I've seen. Shilly versus Gerev would go the distance. Picking a side is tricky. I don't know, man. This really is a 50-50 fight. Both fighters are good on the ground. Like, somebody to win via unanimous decision could be Oka pick. If I must pick a side, then Shilly. So that's what I'm gonna say. So yeah. Next one is going to be Bakhtiaro Ryakil versus Kalan Ulran. I don't know much about Ryakil, but I know a lot about Kalan Ulran. I know a lot about the Don. Great Irish fighter, excellent striker, Team Kaboom Liverpool. I mean, excellent striker and decently good fighter on the ground. At Probellum 1, he showed great skills. This guy has everything. People think like he's a clean, pure striker, but believe me, this guy has everything. He is just getting better and better. Losses to Nathan Fletcher and Rhys McKeown were necessary to turn him into a better fighter, and he improved his movement a lot. So I think he matured through those losses. And Bakhtiaro Riakil 1-0, he defeated Jack Clark via triangle choke. And now we're gonna say Riakil is a heck of a prospect. Yes, he is. But I would anyway give advantage to Ulgran. The guy offers more experience. So I really think Ulgran is good everywhere, and he will try to keep the fight standing. But he can stuff takedown attempts. He could defend on the ground, and I actually think Ulgran is going. I actually think Ulgran is going to win this one. So Ulgran to win for -220. I think this could actually be a good one. I think this could be a decent pick for me. At least I believe this is going to be a decent pick. So anyway, I would like to pinpoint to that. And the next pick here is for the match between Hugo Guillon and Matthew Byfield. This is 205-pound belt, and Hugo Guillon 1-0. Well, I don't know how much experience does this guy have, and I slated him for Cage Warriors, but he's also slated to fight Jackie Jean for RSFC 6, which kind of makes me wonder why would he be slated to fight in that battle. That's something that really makes me wonder. That makes me think about everything. Why would they slate that guy for that bout against Jackie Jean? I mean, they are underestimating the power of Matthew Byfield, and they see him as a big prospect, but I would say overrated. The other side, Matthew Byfield is 310, 6'6", team Renegade BJJ, trained with Matthias Frederick. Renegade BJJ team is strong. I mean, majority of those fighters are great punchers. This guy defeated Jake Watkins, Matthew Findlay, Louis Thames, lost to Paul Mbagay, but this is the greatest challenge of his career. I actually think Byfield is very, very decent on the ground, and people are writing him off for this fight, and I don't know why people are writing him off. That's something I really don't understand. Why are you writing a guy off? This makes no sense to me. I mean, really much makes no sense to me. I really think Matthew Byfield is gonna win. Byfield to win for -600, or Byfield via submission. I think that could be a decent one, but if bookie lets you play, but in my state you can't play that, so I hope it's at least gonna help somebody. So the next fight is between Adam Sheely and Stephen Hooper. Adam Sheely 110. Team KF Martial Arts out of Dublin, Ireland. I don't know much about this guy. Stephen Clocky T. Hooper 5'4", 5'11", out of Manchester, England, SBG Manchester. I remember his fight against Mike Figlock. Well, he gave a hard time to Mike Figlock, and he was better than Tom Mearns, Craig Edwards. The guy is brutally good on the ground. Lost to Anthony O'Connor. Okay, he was dealing with dangerous opponents. I mean, you can't criticize his record. It's not shame to lose to Mike Figlock and Anthony O'Connor. And the problem is I don't know much about Adam Sheely, so let me see. I think Hooper should be favorite here. Stephen Hooper. +105. Hooper is the underdog. Oh, I'm all in Hooper. Okay, let me catch the odd while it's still good. Hooper +105 to win. I actually like Hooper to win for +105. I didn't know he was going to be Didn't know he was going to be the underdog, but it seems uh, it seems that I was a bit lucky this time. At least I can say I was a bit lucky as this guy is the underdog, and it honestly makes me happy because I think Hooper is heavily underestimated. Like doctor stoppage against Mike Figlock, that's not a shame. I had interview with Michael Figlock. We were so right about you. Oh yeah, we were. I just don't know how did you. You were exactly right about you, man. Literally exactly. Like you were on point 100%, man. Yeah, I was thinking it's gonna be a hard matchup, but again, Tio is a great Australian prospect. Really, really great. I'm following that guy for 2 or 3 years. I think that guy is gonna be extremely popular. Nah, he will never be his father. It's impossible. His father used to be just damn good, man. His father is just damn good. I think he is super high league, his fighter. Karol Michalak gonna meet James Sheehan. Michalak 310, 6'2". For welterweight, pretty much tall fighter, fighting out Eindhoven, Netherlands, team Honey Badgers. Of course, Muay Thai as a basic martial art. And great stand-up striker James Sheehan, 320, fighting out of Ireland, Team Rihanna MMA. The guy outworked Emil Brown and Kieran Starrock, lost to Gary via decision, lost to Matthew Bonner via decision. This guy is tough as nails. This guy is tough as nails. If I was the bookie, I would put Sheehan to be the favorite, but there are no odds for this. Let me say Sheehan to win. Yes, his father was gripper with spacing and rolling punches. His son gets hit too much, but maybe he gets better. Well, maybe that's his fighting style. Some boxers intentionally eat a lot of strikes to land many more. Like if they are brawlers, and I don't see Tsu as a technical fighter. I see him as aggressive brawler. That's how I see Tsu. Every single time when I was watching him, he wasn't paying much attention to ducking, evading. I think he's still fighting with his heart, but again, this is just my assessment. Maybe they're having different strategy. Over aggressive. I mean, my MMA coach is always saying, Vlad, don't get over aggressive. I'm like, why? He's saying, because you're a counter striker, you're a counter guy, don't get over aggressive. So if you're aggressive by nature, like a pressure fighter, that's gonna work for you. But if you're not a pressure fighter, that's not gonna work for you. And you, I have a feeling that he was born or raised as a pressure fighter. Don't know how to say that, but I think that style matches him. I think that's a good fighting style for him. And for example, Lennox Lewis would be a poor pressure fighter. Lennox Lewis, for example, was a master counter puncher, for me at least. Mike Tyson was a pressure fighter. Yeah, too unnecessary damage. Like he doesn't know to slow down. For example, if I was up on the scorecards, I would slow down. I mean, no tactical aspect of the game. I understand you. Federico Pasquale gonna meet Paul Mcbain. Now, Paul Mcbain is going to be, I hope, a favorite here. 7-0, great fighter out of Scotland, 6'0". Fighting out of ACC Spartans, lost via naked choke to Aidan Lee, James Hendine, destroyed Conman Dev. He was better than Steve Amable, Sam Spencer, Lloyd Manning. The guy offers extremely good cardio. Federico Pasquale, 6'0", 5'10", BJJ fighter out of Metsai, GG Livorno, and he defeated the majority of his opponents on the ground, which might be a problem for Paul Mcbain, but Paul Mcbain worked a lot on his BJJ game, and I honestly hope that Paul Mcbain is going to win. Paul Mcbain to win. That's gonna be my prediction. Pasquale versus Mcbain, no distance backup pick. Yeah, he was using his range amazingly. You are right, MT Barnett. And Tsu is like, I want to brawl by any means necessary. I mean, you have to brawl, but not you don't have to brawl in every round. Sometimes you need to slow down, and he still has a good. He has a very decent gas tank. Yeah, I really think he has a very decent gas tank for a pressure fighter. Like, but my favorite fighter nowadays is, believe it or not, Elton Smith, my favorite boxer, and he is not even left-handed. Not hard to guess why he is my favorite boxer nowadays. I used to have, I actually have two favorites. One of them unfortunately died. It's Marvin Hagler, and the second one is Pac-Man Pacquiao. But Dalton Smith, not hard to guess why I love that guy so much. I mean, very easy answer. I'm a counter guy, so very easy answer. Can't be easier than that. But yeah, very good fighter and very underrated. So Edward Walls is gonna meet Leon Gittins. Edward Walls 10-7-0, fighting out of Finland. MMA Lapenranta, 5'10", 74.5 inches of reach, lost to Steve Amble and Aidan Steven, but showed amazing pressure. This guy was not slowing down until maybe second, third minute of round three, but I think he lost to Amble and Steven due to he was fighting with his heart, and against Leon Gittins, that's a very, very wrong strategy. 7-4-0 for Leon Gittins, 5'6", and extremely good tactics. Next generation MMA Liverpool. This guy is actually known for good tactics, and he is not going to march forward. Leon Gittins is not going. He's not going to brawl if he doesn't have to, and he's extremely good on the ground. Victories over Adam Amarasinghe, Josh Reed, Ambrose Onmez, losses to Kingsley Crawford, Gerardo Fani, Bramble, and Jonas Magard. But he was fighting big names. Also defeated Kevin Cordero. I mean, he didn't have an easy run to his score. I got to say his voyage was very, very hard, and Edward Walls is fighting with his heart. I'm gonna say Gittins to win. Gittins to win next pick. Yes, I'm gonna reply. Okay. Dalton Smith whipped the Irish guy's ass, but he keeps his jab hand down too low and he doesn't throw the left hook punches. His defense needs work. Yes, I agree. He's not better than Sander. No, he's not. Walls is not good on the ground. Well, that is true. He's not good on the ground at all, but the problem with Walls is the fact that he offers very good takedown defense, and Leon Gittins is tactically a very good fighter, so I think Gittins is going to have great chances to defeat his opponent. I mean, odds are not released yet, but I don't watch the odds every single time. I like to. Walls gets to the ground. Gittins is better once on the ground. That's true. I think also Gittins is good with submission game, but Walls is, Walls likes to stay on the top control, but he is making a lot of mistakes in the top control during transitions, and that could be the moment when Gittins might catch him with a submission attempt, because you, as well as you know, you are the most vulnerable when you are transitioning from one position to other position, and you are extremely vulnerable when your opponent is able to put the butterflies between his body and your adductors. So Gittins is using butterfly guard a lot, and he's crawling backwards a lot, so he's making a lot of space, and Walls is not doing this with his hands to prevent triangle chokes. His body triangle defense is also bad from the back mount. Who has better cardio? Well, that's a hard question, because I'm going to tell you why. Gittins, I've only seen him once going the distance against Adam Amarasinghe. I mean, once when he won. Against Kingsley Crawford, he was not slowing down. Crawford was just better fighter. Walls was significantly slowing down against Amable in round 3 and against Aidan Steven in round 3. So I don't know who has better cardio, but I think Gittins is tactically better fighter, if that's going to help. I think Gittins offers better tactical game plan. Also, Gittins basically, to me, Gittins is more relaxed, doesn't use wasted stamina, true. Walls moves too much, true. And he's not keeping his gas tank. Yeah, Gittins is heavily underrated. Greg Gittins is better, IQ is better. His IQ is excellent and he is extremely underrated. Carlos de Souza gonna meet Darren the Dentist Stewart. Carlos de Souza, 17, 1-0, 5'9", fighting out of Parnamirim, Rio Grande do Norte. The truth is, this guy is actually very good on the ground, man. But he lost to Andre Fialho. I mean, he was losing to high-level names. Just look at the score. Marius Cambrie, however you call him, also defeated him. So it seems the guy is having a hard time with big names. I don't see a victory over big names like Darren Stewart. You know this guy. He used to be a part of the UFC circuit, 6'0", 74 inches of reach. But I never enjoyed when Stewart was fighting at light heavyweight, because light heavyweight simply wasn't his division. You know, with 3 back-to-back losses over Holland, Anderson, Jacoby, he was released from the promotion. But he choked out Maki Pitolo pretty much easily. I just don't think Carlos de Souza is better grappler than Bartosz Fabinski, and Bartosz Fabinski pretty much easily outworked Darren Stewart. Darren Stewart was also better against Bivon Lewis, Darren Wynn, Charles Bird. I'm just worried about his ground game, but I'm gonna go with Stewart as middleweight is his division. I have Stewart middle. I think Jenkins is overlooking Marku. I think Marku wins that one. I think Stewart walks around at 220 and cuts. Well, he will be bigger and much stronger fighter, so is too old. Yes and no. I also say Stewart to win. Also, I want to say Stewart is better at middleweight. Let me just see. This is middleweight. If this is middleweight, then I'm confidently picking Stewart. I'm just worried when Stewart fights at 205 because I think he's undersized at 205. So the can't cut well and he walks around heavier. Well, if he misses the weight, Stewart is not going to turn the fight down. You know that Stewart is a fighter. That guy would never turn down a fight. So, Stewart is the former UFC version of Matthew Bonner, if you know what I mean. Like, Stewart is the former UFC version of Matthew Bonner in terms of I want to fight anybody, anywhere, and I don't want to turn back. Against Eric Anders, he insisted to continue the fight, but they didn't let him. So just like Matthew Bonner against Jati Milan. So I really believe that Stewart will not turn the fight down if his opponent misses the scale. I don't think he will turn that fight down. So, but I think Stewart is going to be a massive favorite. So I don't see value in this one. Odds haven't released. Odds are not released yet, though. But I don't know. I mean, it can change again. Now going to the main event, Daniel Skibinski is going to meet Justin Burlinson. Unfortunately, odds are not released yet for this fight too, but I'm going to tell you that Burlinson is very, very much heavily underrated. The guy fought at Contender Series. 6'1", 74 inches of reach out of Sunderland. He lost to Johan Leynes because of poor striking defense, but the guy, interestingly, at Bellator, he was better than Maciek Girshevsky. He was better than Wendell Lewis. I mean, he offers very high level of experience. He destroyed David Bear. Against Johan Leynes, I think he made a beginner's mistake, and his grappling skills rock. I mean, the guys always think that he is a poor grappler, and he is actually a very good grappler. Daniel Skibinski, 18'6", 5'11", 71.7 inches of reach. Only has pretty much a big reach disadvantage. Uncle's MMA Poznań, not trained with the very famous guys, but the guy fought at United Arab Emirates Warriors, which is a very, very underrated promotion. But I don't think it's going to be enough for Burlinson. I just see, the guy lost to Tahir Abdullayev, so if he gets dragged to the ground, he's going to have a hard time, and Burlinson is good on the ground. Burlinson to win. Stewart is a strong dude, but the heavy soldier is slow, so if the cut is bad, Stewart will have a great advantage. Yeah, I agree. Burlinson wins striking by far. I think Burlinson is a few levels above the former United Arab Emirates Warriors fighter. Burlinson wins this. It does not go distance. No, it doesn't. I agree it will not go the distance. Just to change the description, then we will take part in a normal chit chat. Okay. So if you have questions, you can ask whatever you want. I mean, this is just regular chat now. So about UFC, I'm only leaning Volkanovski and Petryan for now, but I'm worried because Petryan is not fighting with his corner. Leaks are saying if Marku beats Jenkins, what's next? Do you think Marku could fight for the title if he beats Jenkins? What do you think about that option? Because Marku improved himself a lot, and I think Maxim Prodan was the greatest challenge of his career. I think after that victory over Prodan, that he grew extremely quick after that victory because that fight against Prodan, I didn't have courage to pick a side. Pretty good for my team. We hit all the boxing, we hit all the MMA fights. My team went 26 for 26 for 50K profit. That's awesome, man. Congrats. Heard he is fighting Ken in Albania after. He is going to defeat Khan. I think that's a mismatch. I think Marku is better. Way better. I just think I have a feeling that Marku is pretty much underrated boxer. That's what I believe. Against Maxim Prodan, actually, I was worried because Prodan was a pressure fighter, but I've heard that Amir Khan has a lot. I've heard that Khan has a lot of weaknesses, so I think Markov would win that fight. I really think Markov would have good chances of winning that fight. So in England, in every single state, Markov for me is how to say very good boxer. What fights are you doing now? I'm just discussing. I'm just chit chatting, discussing. So you can ask whatever you want. Now this is chit chat. I did Cage Warriors 135, Cage Warriors 136. I'm not ready yet. Probably to breaking down tomorrow. No UFC event this weekend, so we're just chatting. I mean, you can ask which fights I'm gonna cover. Cage Warriors probably. I must see. I must see whether. I must see whether we are going to have it live on my TV station, but I assume they will. They always cover Cage Warriors. And I also have UFC on Fight Pass, but I like to watch main card. Steven Mconnell versus Chris Congo. That's a hard pick. I would say Congo, but a hard pick for me. UFC 273. Which fight would you like to know? Ask me whatever you want about that event. I'm gonna answer whatever you ask. I will try to answer. For now, let's say I'm leaning Guillon and Volkanovski for now. Other picks. Oleinik Latifi was moved. You already know my pick for Oleinik Latifi. I told you that I think Latifi was gonna win. Rosenstrike Tibura. Tibura is an underdog and I picked him to win. Hall, Melot. I think Hall going to lose. Ian Gary to defeat Weeks. Hernandez Duplessis. Kind of hard to pick a side. No distance for me. Lot Pennington. Potentially Pennington. Madsen Pichel. Tough fight to pick. Not sure. I think Pierre Rodriguez has good chances against Kay Hansen. I think so. Let's do one and go up. Hernandez versus Josh Friend. Duplessis backs out. Yes. I think Friend is also pretty much underrated. When I was 11, I went to a Markov fight in 2017. He taught that Greek guy and destroyed him. Whoa, you were at Markov's fight. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I would like to watch Markov one day if I ever come to England. Hansen loses. I agree with that. I think Piero Rodriguez offers a high level of ground skills, and the problem with Hansen is the fact that if she can't finish somebody on the ground, she's probably going to lose. Hence, she improved her striking a lot. But against Jasmine Jezudevicius, I put money on Jezudevicius. And I was pretty much confident that Jezudevicius was going to win that fight because I knew that freestyle wrestling was going to be too much for her BJJ game, as freestyle wrestlers are extremely hard to submit. But Kay Hansen showed significant improvements in punching. Now she has very crisp punches. Her punches are looking way better. But I think she can't finish Piera Rodriguez that easily. And I live in Pittsburgh. Josh is a good fighter, big fucking fighter. He wins striking distance and he will win this fight. He had Duplessis versus Ant Hernandez and still have Josh to beat and KO. Good luck, man. Good luck. Like, good luck. What else can I say? I hope you are right. Duplessis Hernandez, I say the fight will not go the distance. Like if you really say Vlad pick a side, I would say Duplessis, but what if the fight gets dragged to the ground? Duplessis is a master striker, but what if the fight gets dragged to the ground? It worries me. You know, I have many neutral picks because I'm not scared to pick, but I have to say that Josh. What? Josh is fighting? Really? I didn't know that. Let me check. No, I didn't know that. Sorry. I haven't seen that. Just 1 second. Really? I haven't seen that. Oh, thank you for notifying me. Shit, he really dropped out. Fuck it, man. Whoa, I didn't. Hold on. I know who is Josh Friend. I was following LFA. I didn't know he is fighting. Oh, look at this, man. He's the first fight. Josh Friend is very good on the ground. I think he has decent chances in this fight. I would even put him on a favorite. I think he should be the favorite in this match. Yeah, I remember Renato Valente only lost to Gregory Rodriguez. I follow LFA. But I'm just staying from my cerebellum right now because I didn't rewatch. But I remember first round finishes. Yes, he has good chances to win this fight. No distance again, but if I must win a side, friend, I have my ear to the ground. I know all this stuff, boss man. Thank you, man. He can strike and then change levels, get opponents to ground, and it's over. Yes, actually, Josh Friend is very much underrated. I remember his fight against Gregory Rodriguez, and I was pretty much surprised with Gregory Rodriguez tactics in that match. I didn't expect that I was thinking that Gregory Rodriguez was going to use a different strategy. So I was a bit surprised with that. So okay, I will make that prediction later, as I didn't make it, but I will make it tomorrow. I don't have time today, as I was having a very hard day in the office. But I promise to make it tomorrow, and I think I'm gonna win, friend. My relative is Flash Gordon over in Utah, and we on all MMA and boxing fights. I have my ear to the ground in most fights. That's awesome, man. That's really, really outstanding. So that's really, really outstanding. I'm glad because of that. When you have inside info, that's awesome. Oh, excellent. That's outstanding. That really is outstanding. And yeah, if you ask me, Josh Fremd has very good chances to win the fight. I know you're gonna say I'm insane, but I would put Josh Fremd, like, if I'm a bookie. That's how I would rate that fight. I just don't think Hernandez is impossible to beat. And also, oh, no, I don't think Hernandez is an impossible guy to beat. That victory over Vieira was like, Vieira guessed out, Fremd is not going to guess out. Okay, that fight against Kevin Holland, I forgot. I remember, but I haven't rewatched, so it was a quick fight, but I have to rewatch it. Marcus Perez, I remember that loss. Jordan Wright, I remember. Maybe Hernandez is a bit overrated, but I just don't know how he defeated Young Park. That's something I still don't understand. But okay, Fremd is too big. He is the replacement fighter 2 weeks out, and he can easily get to Jack's Florida. I have no issues with weight. Plus, it may be catch weight for him to save this card. You think they're gonna let him fight in catch weight? They say 195. I think Fremd is walking. What did he say? 210 something. How much is his walking weight? I forgot. I don't like the Latifi and the Olenek fight. Something happened last week, an illness or something. Diarrhea. Ilir Latifi was having diarrhea. Faded fight. Of course I will. I'm not going to put it on my bet. I was thinking about putting Volk and Jan, but I'm worried about Jan, man. I'm very much worried about Jan because he's fighting without his corner. If I would have to fight without my coach, it would be it would have been a fatal blow for me. Not just me, anybody. Like you have to fight without your coach. Who knows you better? Nobody knows you better than your coach. That's a pretty much of a big blow if you're fighting. Friend is big dude, walks around just over 2. Yeah, then he shouldn't be having much of problems cutting weight. I think like 20 pounds shouldn't be much to cut. But I know some people were cutting like 30, 40 pounds, and when I hear that, I'm like, oh, all right, guys, you're aliens for me. My body can maximum tolerate 10, 15 pounds. He cut sodium and water next week to get to 185 easily. Okay, that's pretty much easy way to cut weight. If you're cutting like 20 pounds, that shouldn't be a hard weight cut, but 30, 40 pounds, that's a serious weight cut. I mean, I was watching, was it a TUF season when one fighter had to cut? I forgot the fighter's name. I was watching that documentary, but he had 24 hours to cut 18 or 20 pounds, and they were showing how he was cutting and how he barely hit the scale. But I forgot his name. 6'4" fighter. He may be bigger, so I will update you on walk around weight. He may be bigger than 205, so I'll get back to you guys. No problem. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. But I remember that documentary. Just forgot the name of the fighter. I think he was cutting 18 or 20 pounds in just 24 hours, and he hit 206 limit. It was 205-pound fight, but he hit 206 limit. I think he hooped in on a short notice. So I was watching the documentary. I said to myself, man, how were you able to cut so many pounds in such a short period of time? I understand you were going to sauna, etc. That's okay, man, but like, it's impossible weight cut for me. 6'4" guy can easily do it. He's freaking tall. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And height should play an important role in the world of MMA, if you ask me. That should really much play an important role if it's a stand-up game or if it's reach advantage, reach disadvantage. But it's always, for me at least, it's always harder to hit a taller guy. So, but on the other side, Strull was knocked out on many occasions. So I assume people found his weak spot. That's what I assume. I assume people discovered his weak spot. So maybe that was the reason for knocking him out cold. For example, Mark Hunt, he found his weak spot, and then we're having so many problems with Stefan Struve. 6'4" guy can easily do it. Yes, he's very tall. He's extremely tall guy, and I like to say that Fremd has good chances in that fight. I would even put him to be a favorite, but I know many people are gonna disagree with this because this is Fremd's. How do you say? I think that's gonna be a fun debut. Like, I have a feeling this is going to be a Terence McKinney style debut. Like, all in, all or nothing. His frame can get sodium and water easily with no liver and kidney problems. He'll be fine, but 12 days out will be his benefit to stay heavy at catch weight to gain the edge for saving card. I was just about to ask you one question, Anti-Burnett one, about, you mentioned sodium and water. So, how harmful it actually is for a human's body? Because my coach is saying when I ask him about sodium and water, he just says, "Listen, it's okay, but it can destroy your body." And I was reading a lot about it. Some researchers say it harms your body. Some researchers say that you have many ways to protect your body. So, what do you think about it? Because I'm pretty much undecisive. Very harmful, but not too much in only 10 days. Uh, yes, I know. I have heard of that. I have heard of that technique, but Some people say it is going to damage liver and kidneys. Some people say it is not going to damage if you're smart. But of course, massive weight cut is always dangerous. I'm actually worried about those kidney issues might fuck you up later, you know. Kidney issues are hard to deal with. For example, I was having big liver issues in 2013, so liver can recover. I mean, but kidneys hardly recover. Liver can recover if you get back to normal lifestyle. It can recover. I was having some kind of issues which were related to some sickness, but I'm not sick anymore from that sickness. So I'm just saying liver can recover, but kidneys are very hard to recover. I mean, my mom is a doctor, so yeah, not too much in only 10 days. I hope so. I hope so. You have to be very careful. Without sodium and water, the kidneys waste goes to liver. Then you're like that boxer that almost died, the Texas boxer who had to withdraw from Mckenna. I know who are you talking about, but I forgot his name. But I know who are you talking about. I know exactly what are you talking about. I understand you, but I forgot the guy's name. I know there was a pulling out from McKenna's fight. Virgil, I think. Was it Virgil? Yeah, you wrote Virgil. You wrote Virgil. Yeah, that's him. That's him. But yeah, it's true that you have to be very, very careful. It's not easy, man. It's not easy to cut that many pounds. It's like, you know, my body can tolerate maximum of 10 to 15 pounds. Over 15, it's already a gray zone. Hello, Niall. How's everything doing, bud? I'm live for around 14 more minutes, so please shoot in with your questions. What do you think? I was talking about Cage Warriors now. It's a normal discussion, but you can ask whatever you want. I also have inside tip on Yan Garcia. He won't make 135 versus the African fighter. I heard catch weight is 139, not 135. Do you think the catch weight is a good choice for Yan Garcia? Do you think catch weight is a good choice? Do you think it's gonna be advantage for him or disadvantage? What do you say? I think if you don't cut too many pounds, I think it's actually okay. It's better for you if you don't cut too many pounds. Like, but in boxing, weight classes are. It's not like MMA, you know. In boxing, it's like 135, one like very small difference. Very small differences between weight classes in boxing. In MMA, it's kind of different. In MMA, like 125 and 135 is a big difference. But in boxing, weight classes are kind of different. He is the A side, so Golden Boy wants to help Garcia. What happens if B fighter wins? I assume the promotion loses a lot of money, right? Or also now for UFC 273. Well, for now I'm leaning Volkanovski and Jan only. I'm not quite confident about other fights, but I will do predictions next week. But I just from early pick I'm leaning Volkanovski and Jan, but I'm worried because Jan is not fighting with his corner man. It kind of worries me. Yes, it's like it's the business. Korean Zombie loses. I think so. I think I agree with that, but Volkanovski is a massive favorite. Like minus 630 is just too much. Can't get the value with that one. Plus, you don't know whether Volkanovski is gonna destroy him or fight the distance. You never know with Volk. Hmm. I think Volk is gonna win that fight. I didn't know that, but Zombie has been good the last several fights. Yes, he's been good, but the ultimate problem of Korean Zombie is his gas tank. Hamzat first round. Actually, my pick for that fight is the fight will not go the distance. If I must pick a side, I would lean Hamzat, but Burns actually has some good wrestling counters, and you know Burns really has some good counters. So, but everybody's going to pick Hamzat, so if I must pick a side, I'm going Hamzat, but fight not going the distance. Going to be my pick number one, and probably Hamzat pick number two. He guesses out round three. True. And that's a problem. This is a 5-rounder, right? Alexander the Great is pound for pound top three. Yes, I agree. I agree with that. Definitely top three. Well, it's a 5-rounder that's bad for Korean Zombie. I mean, you've seen what happened in the fight between Korean Zombie and Yair Rodriguez. He gassed out, he was starching, gassed out, and he was knocked out. Jan. That is 5 rounds. If it's 5 rounds, I would also go Jan. But listen, man, I'm worried because Jan is not fighting with his coaches. So I don't know. I have a very bad feeling about that fight. I think I'm gonna fade that fight. I don't know, man. I have a bad feeling. I can't explain, but I simply have a bad feeling. I don't know how to tell you that, but when you're fighting without your coach, it's like, no, man. I would have a hard time fighting without my coach. I don't know how mentally tough Jan is. Honestly, I got no idea on his mental toughness, and it would be a massive problem for me. It would have been a massive problem for me if my coach is not with me. I mean, for everybody, it would have been a massive coach because nobody knows you better than a coach. And Jan got the visa, but his cornermen were denied for the visa, and it's a hard decision. I don't know, man. Very hard to fight without a coach. I would fade that fight, honestly. BC, Young got rid of his corner, BC. The last fight communication was bad. He's not mentally tough. He should have never needed the guy on the ground. Yes, unfortunately. I was thinking Jan was gonna win that fight. Sterling was up on the scorecards, but Jan would have won round 4 plus Jan would have won round 5, so I assume he would have won 3-2, but it was a stupid mistake. Mental tough guys get in flight mode and do illegal stuff. I know what you're saying, fight or flight. But yeah, you are right. You are right. It's like fight or flight, but some people choose flight. Some people choose flight, and it's very hard to stay mentally tough when you're fighting. When you're fighting all day long, UFC. When it is your career, maybe you're having some emotional problems, mental problems, psychological problems, psychological pressure, and I think I'm gonna fade that fight. Honestly, listen, if my coach was with me, I would say, okay, everything's okay. If my coach was not with me, that's a problem. That's a big problem. For everybody, you are disrupting his schedule. You are disrupting his way of thinking. You are disrupting his way of communication. Yeah, communication was terrible in the last fight. Listen, I understand a bit of Russian. Russian and Bulgarian have similar letters. We can't understand each other, but we have very similar letters. But I understood a bit of communication between Jan and his corner, and he didn't follow instructions. I'm just saying from the words I understood, he didn't follow the instructions. Coach was telling, I'm going to tell you the part I understood. Coach was telling to, how do you translate it? No pressure. No pressure. Coach was telling like няма притиска, no pressure. And Jan was not doing no pressure. He was saying no pressure, 1-2 away, 1-2 away, 1-2 away, circle, no pressure, don't clinch. Which went to knee. Look, he was destroying him and thought his hands were off the ground. It's an easy mistake. No. He didn't say no knee. He didn't say no knee. I maybe he did, but I didn't understand that part. Coach was saying, do not pressure him. Like, how do you say? No pressure. Hit 1-2. Go to the outside, circle. No pressure. Hit 1-2. Go to the outside, circle. That's the part I understood. About me, I didn't understand that part because Russian and Bulgarian are very quite similar, very little. So I can't understand much of Russian. I understand very little. I can read it, but we only have extremely similar letters, and that's all around it. I can read Russian, but I don't understand the majority of words. But we literally Russians have this E letter, and we don't have that letter. That's one and only difference between our letters. They have like reverse C. That's they have this letter which is like this, and that's the only difference between Russian and Bulgarian letter. no way that was legal. Of course, that was unlegal. But I didn't understand that part with knee. I'm telling you, in Bulgarian, knee is kolyano, and in Russian they have some other word, but I don't know how. They don't call it kolyano like us. They call it differently. I really no. I understand very, very little Russian. Very little. And they have totally different accent compared to us. Very, very much different accent. Especially that area where Jan lives. If Jackson goes to the card, it will be robbery from Jan, just like a Scaro fight, and he has no way to win this fight. It's fade, -460 BC. Jan is fighting Sterling and judges. True. He has to finish Sterling, but Sterling is not an easy guy to finish. About Askarov, I actually thought Askarov lost the fight, but I was just I actually put money on Askarov and I lost that bet, but I was kind of impressed with K. Kara Francis' takedown defense. So I was very, very impressed with his takedown defense. And especially in rounds 2 and 3, I was thinking that Kara France doesn't have good cardio, and he showed excellent cardio. He will not get finished in 5, no way. We'll see. But without Jan's coach in his corner, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be very, very hard. So if you ask me, I'm fading that fight. I'm gonna tell you honestly, I'm fading that fight. So whatever you think, go for it, please. But I think I'm gonna fade it. Like fighting without a coach. Listen, if you wanna risk $1 on Sterling, risk it. But like to put $10 on Sterling, no fucking way, no way. Feder Sterling on long parlays for low ante. Okay, fair enough. For low ante, fair enough, but like to put house on Sterling, no, that's a trap fight, big trap fight. I would never that. If Jan's coaches are here, I would say Jan all day, but without a coach, stay away. Also, Gilbert Hamzat, I'm gonna fade. Hence, if I must pick a side, I would pick Hamzat normally, but my coach is explaining me some wrestling transitions, etc. I'm learning to wrestle now. I don't know to wrestle, but I'm learning. And my coach is very, very detailed, and he is showing some really, really great skill sets from fighters. And there is a problem with... I think people are trying to crack Hamzat's style, and I think Burns is the only person who might have the key to crack that style on the ground. I'm talking in the stand-up. Chimaev is actually a very decent striker. I mean, I believe he's a very decent striker, but Burns is a good striker too. He's trained by Phil and Fetosa, so I'm gonna fade that fight. 4-1 is a dumb bet, of course. I wouldn't bet Jan at -250. Me neither. I would maybe say Jan for, I don't know, -120, -150, but like 4-1, nah, it's terrible bet. It's terrible bet, waste of money, waste of film. So what if Sterling, for example, shows good performance? Jan -115. Yes, or -112 would be like okay, because it was a close fight last time. I mean, Sterling wasn't that bad in his last fight. I mean, we can say whatever we want, but he wasn't bad. He wasn't bad at all, man. Very close fight. Yeah, like Jan being a massive favorite, it makes no sense to me. To me, at least, it makes no sense. Very close fight, and that Jan has no coaches. So it turns very close fight into a pick and fight, in my mind. Also, with Hamzat and Gilbert, if Hamzat wins now, he can win the division, but he needs to win first. I think Burns is a great way to see how good really Hamzat is, because if he beats Burns, he will be the division champ. I can say that now confidently. Sterling can learn from this fight. Don't waste stamina and fight smarter. Jan lack of camp with familiar coach. Team is a disaster for not an optimal fight. Actually, I have to tell you something about Jan. I'm gonna share something with you about Jan. Jan lives in an area which with pretty much how you call it, very low air pollution, and very low air pollution boosts your cardio. So that's one of the reasons why Jan is such good with cardio. Of course, he trains amazingly, etc., etc. But when you live in an area with a low pollution, it also boosts your cardio. It has very similar effect to altitude training. So yeah, I'm just telling you because how do you call that site for pollution checking? I know it in my native language, but I don't know how you call it in. Hold on, give me a few minutes. Okay, just wait. Hold on. 1 second, okay? Just 1 second. Mm, 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 mm. How do you call it in English? I don't know how you say it in English. Like literal translation is air index, air pollution index, right? I'm a robot. I don't have a favorite fighter. I do numbers and math, and Jan doesn't fit in the betting algorithm I haven't used. No problem, man. CO2. Yeah, CO2. CO2 level is very. CO2 level is very low. So yeah. Yeah, thank you, MT Burnett. I don't have a favorite fighter. I do numbers, and Jan doesn't fit in the betting algorithm I haven't used. Yeah, was using. That's it. Yeah, CO2 is high and O2 levels is a bit lower, like in LA and Beijing. For me, I'm telling you, I'm living in Belgrade, which is like top 10 polluted cities in the world. Belgrade, Serbia, believe me, one of the most polluted cities in the world. Wherever I go, countryside, it's awesome. It's damn awesome, man. Just damn awesome. But Jan's cardio is brutal, brutal. Yeah, maybe there are different sites. I was able to find that website, but maybe you're using different websites. I don't know. I mean, you know that better than me. But yeah, you said well. I'm a robot. I have algorithm, and if your algorithm works, that's awesome. That's really awesome. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if they robbed Peter. Yes, Robert. Yes, Robert. I agree with you. Yes, yes. I wouldn't be surprised either. That's uh, that's okay. Pretty much okay. So it's possible. It's very much possible. I agree. Yes, yes, it's very much possible. But for example, me, I'm telling, Belgrade is like red when it comes to pollution. Literally dark red, man. And whenever I go outside of Belgrade, I'm the happiest man in the world. It is a shame. Sorry for spelling. It seems the UFC is giving Russians hard matchup ever since Ukraine. Potentially, I don't know. I mean, Askarov France. I was expecting a hard matchup, but I was thinking either it was gonna be Kara France. Kara France was gonna knock out Askar Askarov. That was my option number one. And my option number two was Askarov via decision. And actually, Kara France won decision. Yes, Robert Volkov fights Aspinall, and then Azamat fights in Chukwi right when that happens. Oh, I was sweating hard for Azamat Murzakanov. Man, I was thinking that Chukwi was gonna win that fight. You remember? You were in my chat. I said I lost that bet. Does seem like that. Do you remember the girl from Ukraine, Vaxtapova? Yes, I do. Sure, there was a business deal that she wins. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Those are both hard matchups. And Chukwi is a great inside fighter, and Chukwi is an excellent fighter. I was impressed with him, Chukwi, man. I mean, I was thinking that Murzakanov was gonna win early, man. Not in round 3 when he was guessing. He was literally guessing through a knee and won that fight, and I was like, "Ow." So it's exactly right. Dana does this for money. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yes, I believe it was a part of the deal. Of course, it was a part of the deal. Like they needed more popularity for Marina Morris, so. True, they needed more popularity for Marina Moros. That's true, bro. I swear the UFC will now pander to the anti-Russian sentiment. I would not be surprised at all. I think that is actually pretty much on point. So they are giving them very very hard matchups, and I wonder what's going to happen with Ankalaev now. Who is going to be the next opponent for Ankalaev? That's what I'm wondering now. I'm really wondering what's going to be next for Ankalaev, honestly. No boxing. Nah, no boxing or UFC. Boxing, very little, but not much, man. Very just not much of a boxing. I made some boxing picks predictions, but nothing special. Only Cage Warriors this week, so if you enjoy Cage Warriors, go for it. Like I wrote my picks in the beginning of this chat, so when you scroll it, you can see every single pick. I am not going to erase the chat. No worries about that. I'm not going to erase the chat. After 12 hours, chat is free to view. So at the beginning of this chat, I wrote all my picks, so you can scroll it. Combat is so shady. I bet business side over skills more than you haven't realized. That's a smart way of betting. That's actually a very smart way of betting because business is number one, results are number two. That is actually a very smart way to bet. You should really learn from this, man. That is actually very, very smart way to bet. Business is always number one. Use the Pac-Man to be honest, fight to be TB to fight TB minus 410 to open dropped minus 210 BC. Vegas needs to get the money back. Yes, absolutely true. Askarov should have won, but it was very close. The problem is it was unanimous 29-28 Kara France. That fight was too close. It was a close one, but I actually scored it for Kara France. But I think split decision would have been okay. I agree with you. Split decision would have been okay. That's pretty much on point. Oscar performed very bad. Kara France was tough in all the takedown attempts. Askarov, no. No problem. Yeah, our phone is correcting. I understand, man, but I actually scored in the bout in the favor of Kara France, but it was a close one. It was a very, very close one. But that's how I saw it. Maybe when it's a very close fight, it could really go either way. But I didn't see it. I put money on Askarov, but I didn't see it in the favor of Askarov. 2-1 split Askarov. And it's a close fight. I don't know. I'm just saying, as a man who put money on Askarov, you know that I told you my last week's picks, Kizriev, Askarov, As a man who put money on Askarov, I was thinking that he lost, but again, maybe I made a mistake. France landed 2 hard strikes the last 10 minutes, only 2. He was pulling his fingers in the first round, which is illegal, causing him to guess going for the choke. Yes, I remember that. That's true. How did you see that detail? I have seen that when I was rewatching, man. Whoa, I had money on France. That's awesome. That's great, man. Oh, Robert, you really are a knowledgeable guy. How the heck have you seen that? I've seen that when I was rewatching the fight. I didn't see it during the fight. Hit a 25 teamer on bottom line. Way to go, man. Congrats. I just wonder how did you see this tiny detail, Robert? That's why he pushed him at the end of round 1. That's absolutely true. Sorry, Nightbot. Sorry, Nightbot is no worries, Robert. You can feel free to write. This is just Nightbot. I would never ban you. You know that very well. Anyway, that's true. That's very much true. This tiny detail. I will read this again. And he was pulling his fingers in the first round, which is illegal, causing him to guess going for the choke. So, I'm going to copy this. That's on point. But I've seen that when I was rewatching the fight. I haven't seen that during the fight. I know, I was wondering how he was defending the choke, and I saw he was doing single joint manipulation. Yes. Single joint manipulation is illegal. Rewatch that fight at UFC on Fight Pass. Yes, really, single joint manipulation. Single joint manipulations are not allowed in MMA fight. The rules were changed, and yeah, but you can defend that choke like with a single wrist manipulation, or you can defend it, for example, with a bridge or with some other techniques. But defending a choke is sometimes very easy. Yes, but I've seen that when I was rewatching the fight. That's the problem. That's what I'm telling you. I've seen that when I was rewatching the fight on UFC on Fight Pass. During the fight, I haven't seen that. Going to watch. Yeah, rewatch it, please. Just rewatch it at UFC on Fight Pass. See this? You see? This is like Aikido move. As much as I know, this is not allowed in MMA bout. I might be wrong. Again, I might be wrong. But see, as much as I know, single joint manipulations are not allowed. But again, I'm not MMA judge, so I'm not saying 100% I'm right, but let's say 70%. It was very weird for me. You're not allowed to do that. Okay, then I'm right. But I'm just saying, as much as I know, single joint manipulations are illegal. At least he should have gotten a warning, a verbal warning, a point deduction. Depends on the judge, but I haven't seen that during the fight, so I assume the referee hasn't seen that either. But when I rewatched, I was like, "What the heck?" That choke was looking deep to me. But you have many ways to defend choke. You have legal and illegal ways. Askarov corner never said anything. I'm gonna tell you why. Listen, if I'm the cornerman, now I'm giving you one example. That's what my coach says. If you're a cornerman, you can see BGG or wrestling if and only if you're on that side, that exact side of the cage. So, if I'm your coach, I'm here. BGG happens there. I can't see everything. It's impossible because of the fans, because of the judges, because of the moving. If that happens ahead of me, 2 meters ahead of me, I'm gonna see everything. If that doesn't happen ahead of me, I can't see. That's what my coach says. I mean, that's my coach with like 10 years of experience. He sits cage side every single week. And he says that he was really gassed in second round. Yes, he was. It's the only reason he was defended after that because Askarov. That Askarov was gassed. That's why he defended all the takedowns. True. And I'm telling you, like when you're a coach, you must be very close to see everything. Fence grab is something different. Fence grab is visible. But hand manipulations, whether you put hand here, whether you're fishing for a triangle choke, arm bar, or all kinds of submissions, if you're a coach sitting cage side, you're not going to see if you're on the wrong side of the octagon. Hello, Alex. Good afternoon to you too. Yes, something happened. He could not and didn't want to We take down in 2 and struggled in 3. Yes. Single joint manipulation. But that was it. As much as I know, rules don't allow that, but I haven't seen that during the fight. That's my mistake too, but I haven't seen that. I can't say that I did because I didn't. He was even able to trick the die-hard MMA fans with that. So way to go, man. Way to go. You did a great job. He had both sides, parlay of France, parlay. B. Askarov, of course. I was rooting for France to win, of course. It was a greater odd on France. It was like very, very massive odd on France. So you did a great job, man. I mean, congrats on winning 50K. That's really, really awesome. Congrats on that. I'm really much glad that you were able to pull it out. Like, also, to be honest, in many cases you can't see everything, especially when you're a judge. Especially when you're a coach. Sometimes, if it happens on the opposite end of the corner, you can't see everything. So that's what I'm trying to pinpoint right now. Even when something happens ahead of you, if it's wrestling, if you're on the wrong side, you are not going to see it. For example, if somebody is trying to go for a butterfly or sweep, I'm trying to say that his corner did not see that. That's what I'm trying to say. His corner was not in a good spot, so I believe his corner was not able to see that because they were not having a good angle. I'm trying. If I'm making a mistake, feel free to correct me. I believe they didn't have a good angle, a good point of view, because sometimes when you have a bad point of view, a bad angle, you can't see everything. Did Askarov complain? I don't know. I don't know what they talked between the rounds, because I was focusing on the fight. I really didn't listen what was he talking during, what were they talking between between the rounds. And also Askarov speaks Dagestani Russian, which is kind of different dialect. So it has a lot of, I believe, they have a lot of Armenian words, and this is not like Russian you see on the news, or so. I don't understand Russian, and I understand the Dagestani Russian way less than normal Russian, so very hard for me. But Jan is speaking, what is that dialect? Like that Siberian dialect is very close to normal Russian, so I can understand at least a bit. My wife will be home soon. I haven't done my chores. She's going to get pissed, so I will leave soon. No problem, man. I'm also leaving. Thank you so much for this chat. Thank you so much for sharing this info with me. I learned something new today, but yeah, that's true. Everything is true. So I also need to get to sleep. Tomorrow I have to work, another day in the office. And thank you. Tomorrow, I think I will break down 136 Cage Warriors, but not sure though. Tomorrow, I'm releasing picks for members. Sorry, guys. Bets are late this time because bookies are late. I don't know why are they such, but bookies are late this week as there is no UFC. So have a great day. Thank you so much. Night.